What is going on, guys? Welcome to Greggles TV. In this video, this was all about comparing microphones of the top premium phones that came out in 2022 against each other. Now, it's not every single premium phone from all these Chinese brands and all these other brands. It's mostly brands that you can just buy here in the US and throughout the world. And I did throw a budget phone in there. I threw in the Pixel 6a, and it's interesting to say the least, all these microphones. So I do an indoor car test and I do an outdoor test as well, because I think that's going to be where we set the standard. And I also throw in a curveball in there by using, at one point, a external microphone, so you can see the difference of using an actual attached microphone versus not, and what it sounds like. So I didn't change any of the volumes or anything. I didn't edit any of that part. Everything is the way it was recorded, and I just imported it into my computer and edited the footage down. Let's get to the testing.
All right, guys, so here's our first test. So I'm in my car, and as you know, cars have really, really good soundproofing for the most part. And I'm in a Tesla Model Y, and it's pretty quiet in here most of the time. You know, I put the windows all the way up and all that. It's pretty quiet. So I'll be curious. This is the Galaxy Z Fold 4. I'm using the front camera first, and then I will switch over to the back camera. But ultimately, this is the front camera, so it's going to probably use different cameras than the back. But we'll see how this sounds. Next, we'll jump to the Pixel 7 Pro. Here we go with the Pixel 7 Pro front cameras and microphones as well, to give you an indication of what this looks and sounds like inside of a car. We'll also eventually try all these in a different environment, such as outside, to give you an idea what that sounds like. But this is what the Pixel 7 Pro sounds like, front cameras. Here you go with a little Galaxy S22 Ultra front camera on here, give you an indication of what this sounds like. Yeah, so I don't know. It's really like the Samsung phones. I wouldn't equate them to having the best microphones. They're not bad, but I always feel like other phones have better camera, better microphones, but I guess we'll see at the end of this which one does. And again, Galaxy S22 Ultra front camera. Here we go with the iPhone 14 Pro Max front camera, microphones. What do you guys think? Is everything sounding great, or could it sound better, or is it sounding just as good or worse than the other phones that we've listened to thus far? That will be a good indication. Again, iPhones are, when you talk to a lot of content creators or just a lot of people, especially here in America, most people use iPhones, but do they have the best microphones? That's a good question. I thought I'd throw this one in. This is the Pixel 6a, a budget phone of sorts, you could say. It's much cheaper than a lot of the competition we've looked at thus far by hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So is there a big difference between a budget type phone versus a premium phone? All right, now we have the back cameras. Now the camera is a little bit closer to me, but I do have the ultra wide lens on, so it should look kind of far back. But ultimately, back cameras using, again, probably different microphones at the moment. And I don't have cases on any of these phones, so if you're wondering that, they're all naked. I do have them in a little mount, but other than that, it's not blocking any of the cameras or anything like that, or any of the microphones overall. But this, again, this is the back cameras of the Z Fold 4. Here's the back cameras on the Pixel 7 Pro. Again, using, should be different microphones. I always noticed, I feel like anyway, that the back cameras, those microphones end up always sounding better than the front, or vice versa. I can't remember which, but ultimately, you should get somewhat of a different sound from these and get an indication of what it's going to sound like. Ultimately, remember, this is all for if you're a content creator or you're creating stuff and you want the best microphones. That's what we're getting at here with all of these different premium phones. Here we go with the back camera of the Galaxy S22 Ultra, what this sounds like with those microphones. And Samsung is known to make very premium products. Do their microphones live up to the hype versus their competition on, so far, what we've seen thus far? Let me know in the comments down below. Here's the back cameras of the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Do these sound good, bad, ugly, indifferent, or not versus the competition? That is the key question, and we definitely need to know. Let me know in the comments. And then here's the back cameras of the Pixel 6a. Test out the microphones. Do they sound great, bad, worse? What do they sound like? Again, a budget phone versus premium phones. It's a very, very interesting question to ask. You know, can you get away with content creation or just capturing memories of your family and stuff with having good microphones on a budget phone?
All right, we are outside now in my front of my house at night, pitch dark. I would have recorded this during the day, but you know what? Kind of missed my opportunity. But ultimately, this is what it sounds like outdoors on the front-facing camera of the Galaxy Z Fold 4. Here is the Pixel 7 Pro camera. This, I know I like the microphones on this because I've been using these in some of my new videos, and I know I like it. Especially I did a bike video with this, but this is the front-facing camera, so you're getting all those front microphones. Here we are now with the front-facing camera of probably the most popular Android phone, at least in America, or one of the most popular, the Galaxy S22 Ultra. Especially on the premium side, yeah, it's probably the most popular phone for Android. So what do you guys think about this one? How does it sound with those front-facing microphones? Here's the iPhone 14 Pro Max front-facing camera. And I mean, obviously too, the other thing you could notice too is like which camera you actually think looks the best too. I could have said that as well over all these. But what do you think? This is the iPhone 14 Pro Max front-facing camera, pitch dark at night. Here is the budget phone, the Pixel 6a front-facing cameras on here. How does it sound? Let me know. Is it got good volume? Is it bad? I need to know. So I guess we'll find out soon what I think and what you think. And this is what it sounds like on the back camera of the Galaxy Z Fold 4. From basically the same distance, I am holding it with a selfie stick, but ultimately there's no case on it or anything like that. Galaxy Z Fold 4. And here are the back cameras of the Pixel 7 Pro. Get an idea what they sound like. There's a car driving by now, so we'll see how much that gets picked up through these microphones. So there you go. Here you go with the rear-facing cameras and microphones of the Galaxy S22 Ultra. Are they good? Are they bad? How are they? And remember also, the Galaxy S23 Ultra, it will be out in mere months at the time of making this video, so maybe those will be even better. But right now, this is what we're dealing with. And now here we are with the rear-facing cameras, iPhone 14 Pro Max. Hopefully I'm looking in the right direction. I think the camera's over here. I can't even tell. It's so dark and it's backlit because of this light. But what do you guys think? Does this sound good, great, bad? Versus the other one, how's the volume, how's the tone, how's everything in this? Let me know. Here we go with the rear-facing cameras on the Pixel 6a, my budget phone of the year. So yeah, this is what it sounds like, what it looks like, but ultimately we're more worried about what it sounds like because we're trying to find the best microphone of all the 2022 phones that were released this year. And then lastly, here is, again, the Galaxy S22 Ultra, but I do have an external microphone plugged in so you can hear what that sounds like. Ultimately, you can use an external microphone on any Android phone. This is a USB-C microphone from Rode. I'll link it down below if you want to pick it up. But this is what this sounds like, so you can get an idea of, if you were using the internal microphones of all these phones versus if you got an external one, what is the difference? All right, so these are my results. So first of all, in the car, the front-facing camera, I think that the Galaxy phones sounded kind of muffled, and they actually sounded the worst out of all the phones, and that goes for the Z Fold 4 and the S22 Ultra. I thought the Pixel 7 Pro was really solid, sounded good. But ultimately, I thought the iPhone 14 Pro Max sounded the best. It sounded clear, had good volume, and good clarity. So I would have given the winner to the iPhone 14 Pro Max, Pixel 7 Pro in second. Third, I'd probably give the Pixel 6a. And then last place, I'd give the S22 Ultra and then the Z Fold 4. As for the rear-facing camera microphones in the car, this was a much closer feat against each other, but ultimately, I felt like they definitely sounded better on the external microphones, all of them, versus front-facing camera microphones. I felt like which is weird here, I felt like the Z Fold 4 took the win. I thought Pixel 7 Pro came in second, and you could throw definitely probably S22 Ultra in there at third possibly. iPhone 14 Pro Max did sound good, but it picked up a lot of outside noise, I felt like, more so than the other two. And then Pixel 6a, again, Pixel 6a I feel like you could throw in the middle of almost all these tests, I'll be honest with you. Front-facing cameras outdoors, Pixel 7 Pro, I felt like did an extraordinary job and took the win. S22 Ultra did a really good job as well and came in a close second place. iPhone 14 Pro Max was clear, but I could hear like reverb going on with it. And then Z Fold 4 again was pretty good. It could have been third, I guess, in there, or fourth. And then you get the Pixel 6a again, kind of just thrown in there, but not anything extraordinary. Rear-facing camera outdoor. Felt like the S22 Ultra took the win. Pixel 7 Pro coming in second. iPhone, again, too echoey. You could hear like some echoing going on. When I talked, it was like picking up the reverberations from the door that was fairly nearby. And then the other two phones, the Z Fold 4, and which did pretty good. And then the Pixel 6a, again, did pretty good. But I'd give the top two spots to the S22 Ultra and the Pixel 7 Pro. When we got to the external microphone outdoor test, that beat everything. It was clear, it was super loud in a good way, and it just sounded really good. I definitely recommend, probably if you're gonna create videos, get an external microphone. It just sounds so much better, and it's worth it. I mean, you could always go in, if you're gonna edit your videos on a computer or something, and raise the volume that way and if you just use the internal microphones. But ultimately, I still think there's nothing that an external microphone just does so well. And if you want to get the one that I bought, I'll link it down below. They make a Lightning port version and they make a USB-C version. But if we're not going to use a microphone, this was my order, and I thought that the Pixel 7 Pro was the most consistent overall on all the tests. It might have not won all the tests. It might have came in second in basically all of them per se, but ultimately I thought it was the most consistent, so I'd give it the best overall internal microphones. I thought the iPhone 14 Pro Max was very good, but a little too much echoes when it was outdoors. But overall, very clear, no matter what. Background, it did pick up a lot of background noise as well, no matter what environment it was, so it was almost like a hot mic. Galaxy phones are very inconsistent with their microphones. Either they sound crappy or they sound pretty good, and that's kind of a hindrance, I guess, in ways. Pixel 6a was solid, but not the best really ever. It was kind of middle of the pack, but still a really good, solid microphone to get. So there you guys go. Those are my thoughts of the microphones. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below of the best, the worst, and what else you thought about these. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you down the road. Peace.